What's up, everybody? Back at it again. Raul's Automotive, getting more race car parts installed today. I ordered a LG short throw shifter, so we're gonna have Mr. Downforce get that installed for me, and we'll see how it feels compared to the stock shifter. Stock shifter is okay, has a lot of play in it. It's a little short. I want to see if extending the shift length up top helps me get into gear a little better. We got John working on it right now. Shouldn't take too long. I think it's like a 30-45 minute install if you know what you're doing. We're gonna get it buttoned up and then go for a little test drive and see how it feels compared to the stock shifter and to John's MGW short throw shifter. He let me drive his Corvette Z06. A couple days ago, and it felt pretty good. But MGW shifter is pretty spendy. It's like over $300, while the LG system is about $200. So we'll see if there's any major differences between the two.
Just took out the center console cover. Got a few plastic little covers we had to take off to access these screws. Couple back here. It's like the back ones are 10 millimeters, the front ones are T15, I believe. Take the tins out. So, to take this shifter boot off, you gotta twist counterclockwise and push down. Give you access to that bolt. That I think it's a T15. Oh, it's a little bit bigger. It's got Loctite on there, so it might be kind of hard. Okay, that came off. There we go. Factory shift knob. Pull on this emergency brake boot kit. Get it unsnapped. Pull it up and out of the way, and there's a couple of 7 mils on the side. It's always good to have a little magnetic tray or something like that for all your nuts and bolts. Take the side trim panel off. You kind of pull down and then back. So you pull it down and then down in an angle. It's got a couple of clips on that side. If I can get to the other side. No, that's fine. So pull up. At the same time you pull them back, because these slide forward. Careful. Depending on your model, you may have different switches and whatnot. Seat warmers, you have to disconnect those. Disconnect the hazard switch. This one has traction control there. Looks like the boot thing's coming apart. The hazard one is kind of a pain in the butt because you can't really see it and you have to squeeze the tab. There we go. That one's off. Cigarette lighter one. It's another squeeze tab. And the back one. The back one, you have to lift up on the tab that's on the sensor. Lift up and then it'll pull out. The other ones you have to push in. This should just pop out. Oh, there's one more. Back cigarette lighter one. This is another push pin. There we go. Carefully remove that. So it's got a protective boot. Take this boot off. You gotta make sure it's in neutral. It's got a little slide tab that the boot has to go around to keep the boot in place. Just go straight up. Part of the boot. Got a couple more 10 millimeters. There's your main factory harness, the factory shifter. Make sure it's in neutral. Go straight up. It should just pop out. So this is the factory one. We're going to be removing this bushing, transferring it to the LG Motorsports designed one. Here's the factory one. There's the LG. Quite a bit difference as far as the height. Just gonna transfer the little ball mechanism. Pull it off pretty simple. Snap the new one in. And it doesn't appear it has a front or rear on this. I just assume it goes either way. Reuse all your factory bolts. Slide that in. Should be good to go. Alright, so we can use the factory bolts. Oh, actually it does make a difference on which way it goes. The little channel is what's indicating which direction it goes, in case you use your factory shifter on there, or which we're not. Always start threads by hand. You don't want to use a power tool because they can go cross thread. Once you got a few on there, then you can run it down. That one actually is going a little crooked. And that's why you start them by your hand. Make sure they're centered. just gonna snug them up pretty good. Calibrated 10 inch-pounds. That's it. Nice and firm. That's it. We'll just reassemble it. Some of these you have to, the lower boot, sometimes you have to trim these to get around the base. Sometimes you can squeeze around. Let's see if we can squeeze around. Probably not. We're gonna have to trim the boot. Yeah, so we're gonna have to trim this to get around the base of that, which won't take but a second. Alright, got it trimmed. So just slide around there. Oh yeah, nice and beautiful. Perfect fit. Now we just gotta bring the little thing down there. Oh, magnet. Alright, so pull this back on. And it's got this little channel that it goes around that. Keep the boot in place. And that's it. Just reassemble, put all your connections in. Now that it's in, we can bring that back to line up the shifter mechanism. Definitely a lot tighter now. Hazard switch. Cigarette lighter. Switches here. Cigarette lighter. Need a light. Can't see under there. Hands in there. Okay, there's that one. Traction control switch. Okay, that's all the switches. Now to get the gear shifter in through that hole right there. And the wiring harness kind of goes parallel to the car and then it turns. You gotta make sure it's not pinched on anything as you push it in. Make sure all your connections are there. Make sure the hazard switch wiring harness isn't all bunched up in there either. Don't want to get pinched. kind of jiggle it forward and push forward. Everything should snap in. Okay. Couple of little tugs. That's it. There's two bolts back here, they're 10mm. You don't have to take them out, but when you're lining this up, it's a good thing to have them loose so you can pull it back, just snap this in and then push it forward. Put your little torque spits back in right here. Don't want to over torque those because it's all plastic. Just kind of give it a little snug. That's it. Put the two 7mm back in on the side over here. Put the little plugs back in. Back ones in. This side panel on, so you can push forward. You know, there's a lip you got to go around on the back. All right, and then push forward. Okay. Back in. Now we can put the boot cover back in. It's got to snap in on the front, push down. That's it. I'll put the little door on now. These, you do not want to over tighten those. This is all plastic. You can easily break the door connection point. So those you definitely want to start with your fingers and tighten them down very slowly. So when you tighten these down, snug them down with your fingers, and then just a little bit, because they will break. That's it. Now the gear shifter knob. So let's see how far this goes down. So it starts to get tight right there. It's starting to get pretty tight, so maybe it won't break. Maybe it won't come loose. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, nice and short. It's pretty tight there. All right, so we're gonna take this thing out for a drive. I currently have the MGW, and I've never driven one with the LG shifter, so we'll see how it goes.
Got the car buttoned up here. We're gonna go for a quick little test drive, see how the short shifter feels. Any first initial impressions?
It feels pretty good. It feels tight, but it's not as tight, which might be a good thing. It definitely has a short throw. The MGW is definitely quite a bit tighter, but we'll see how it feels. It's raining a little, so gotta kind of be careful not to.
Well, we got PS4s on, it should do okay.
Yeah, it feels pretty good.
You can hear it clank into gear compared to the stock one.
Love that rev match.
It's the auto blip.
It's pretty cool.
I'm gonna try and bank it to third. Say it's worth $200?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. That was a good upgrade for 200 bucks. Now the MGW is like $395, something like that.
Yeah, it's way over three, I think.
I mean, the MGW comes with the lower housing and a couple other components that supposedly makes it quite a bit more precise. But this feels pretty damn good too. I would definitely buy this thing.
You definitely buy it?
I would definitely buy it.
This has Mr. Downforce's seal of approval.
I mean, save a couple of $100 bucks, definitely. All right, man, we'll see you.
All right, thanks, bud. Impressions. Having a hard time getting into first with my arm, but getting into all the other gears is way easier. The resistance and shifting is a bit higher, but the throw is a lot shorter, and it just slips into gear. It's way better feeling than the stock shifter, and it's not nearly as notchy as John's MGW from what I remember. Wow, that feels way better. Man, getting in first is really tough for me. But going into second, that felt awesome. That felt way better. This is the hard part with first. All right, well, that's going to do it for this upload, guys. Thanks for watching. Please take care, subscribe. Have a great day.